Hello dear viewers, welcome to this edition of the News in English. My name is Serishan Hori. We'll begin with the headlines. A press conference has been held by health officials here in Rwanda in the wake of the Marburg virus disease that has infected dozens in the country and killed 8. The Rwanda Shimimana Gospel Concert has been held in Kigali to give thanks for the country's achievements over the last 30 years. And on the international scene, massive Israeli air raids in Lebanon over the weekend have damaged several residential buildings in the southern and eastern parts of that country. Now the details. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Officials in the Ministry of Health have noted that they are carrying out tests on 300 people who are known to have come into contact with confirmed cases of the Marburg virus, which has so far killed 8 of the 26 people it has infected. Adam Squizera with more.
At a press briefing on Marburg outbreak, the Minister of Health, Dr. Sabin Sanzimana, revealed that all Marburg virus patients are receiving treatments.
As we speak, there is a lot happening in terms of contact tracing, testing, isolation, treatment, but also working on the communication to ensure the public is aware on what is happening about this disease, how we should prevent it, and how we should work together to avoid further transmissions, as well as saving lives of people who are already in treatment. So far, we have activated all our response mechanisms. We're working with different partners and also government institutions to make sure we stop this spread as quick as possible. And also we save the lives of the people that are likely already infected. And that's why contact tracing is our main focus, lab diagnostics, and also clinical treatment.
Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the Director General of the World Health Organization, reassured Rwanda via his X account that the organization stands ready to assist in managing the virus outbreak. Following this, WHO country representative, Dr. Brian Chirombo, reiterated the pledge, emphasizing the support that the WHO has committed to providing Rwanda.
A team of 7 experts will be coming in, and this team will be integrated into the way the response has already been structured. But in addition to that, we're also providing support in the other areas. For example, we are providing support in getting testing equipment, because that's very critical at this stage to make sure that the government, the country, can be able to do the testing that it needs. We're providing PPE equipment. So some of those, we have already made arrangements being flown into the country. Some will be arriving, I think some arrive tonight, some tomorrow, and in the next week we'll be receiving more of that equipment. We're also bringing in other critical supplies for infection prevention. We are bringing in equipment and supplies that can be used to treat. So that's the initial equipment that we're expecting in the next few days. A group of 500 patients who have Marburg.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Sabin Sanzimana, reassures that people should go about their daily activities unrestricted as usual. However, individuals with any symptoms of the virus, he noted that they are urged to seek medical attention immediately.
It's very important to note that once you see these symptoms, inform the Rwanda Biomedical Center at 114, as well as also contacting the facilities. All facilities have been briefed on precautions, and want to make sure all the means to stop this spread in place very quickly. And we convey this message also media, community, civil society organization present here. We want to work closely with you, sharing the right information to the public, because during this time of pandemics, there's a lot of infodemics, and false information spread by people with sometimes intentions that are not going to help us stop this outbreak.
The Ministry of Health noted that all Marburg virus patients are receiving free treatment from the government. The symptoms of the Marburg includes high fever, severe headache, muscle ache, vomiting, and diarrhea. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente has asked religious leaders and their followers alike to denounce teachings that hinder the people's developmental efforts. The Prime Minister made at the Rwanda Shimimana Gospel Concert that was organized to give thanks for the achievements that Rwanda has made over the last 3 decades. Dr. Edouard Ngirente attended the event on behalf of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, and commended the role of religious organizations in Rwanda's continued development efforts. The organizers of the concert noted on Rwanda's devastating state at the end of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and how the country has not only managed to get back on its feet since, but also gone on to surpass all expectations, becoming a beacon for other countries on the continent and beyond, pointing out that there is much for Rwandans to be grateful for. The Rwanda Shimimana Gospel Concert featured a number of renowned gospel artists. Now, part of RBA's programming is to explore the names and origins of various locations across the country, and now we visit what is known as the foot of Ruganzu in Rulindo district of the Northern Province. This cultural center provides an opportunity to know more of the rich history of the region, particularly focusing on King Ruganzu II Ndori, who liberated Rwanda from her enemies during the 16th century.
In the district, Kawi village, Gakoser in Rusiga-Ruiwi sector, and Gatenye district, there is a notable site known as Ruganzu's footprint. According to local analysts, this area is historically significant because of Ruganzu Ndori II and his army who passed through this place when they were out of drinking water. The king stood on a rock, drew an archery bow, and shot at the mountain across the valley. Miraculously, a spring of water formed, allowing his army to quench their thirst. Additionally, the rock he stood on is said to bear an imprint of his foot. Haguma Anastase, a 73-year-old man, is well versed in this historical account.
I saw it with my own eyes. There was an acacia tree, just like the ones you can see here, and the footprint was right next to the tree.
During the construction of the asphalt road between Kigali and Musanze in the early 1980s, the rock on which Ruganzu Ndori II stood was displaced due to explosive blasting. As a result, the footprint on the rock was damaged. Additionally, the spring that had formed from his arrow was disrupted by the stones and soil moved during the road construction. Munyaneza Tarsis, a 62-year-old man, witnessed these events firsthand.
I remember that stone well because I saw it. In 1982, when the road was being constructed, I was one of the workers paving it. The water that were there completely disappeared due to the construction activities.
In 1982, the rock bearing Ruganzu Ndori II footprint exploded, and the fragments were buried beneath the remnants of the rock. Father John Baptist Rugengamanzi, a local from the area, salvaged the pieces and preserved them at the Rwanguba parish for 8 years. In September 1990, the footprint was handed over to the Ministry of Higher Education and Technical Research and subsequently transferred to the Rwanda National Museum headquarters in Butare. On October the 5th, 2020, after 20 years, the footprint was returned to its original region, the Rulindo Cultural Center, known as Ikirenga, located 500 meters from the rock's original site. Today, the footprint is a notable attraction at the Rulindo Cultural Center. The monument of Ruganzu stands at the entrance of this center, which is a significant site for tourists, as highlighted by Niyonshimira Theogene, who manages the center.
Dufite imurika rishingiye ku mateka y'umwami Ruganzu wa kabiri Ndori na cya kirenge cye.
We have an exhibition focused on King Ruganzu Ndori, including the famous footprint that people talk about, which we show to the visitors. We also showcase various traditional crafts, such as swordsmithing, which was a significant source of income for Rwandans and contributed to their development. Additionally, we exhibit the traditional clothing, people wore in the past, the Umuganura festival and its historical significance, as well as traditional Rwandan homes and religious beliefs, the importance of livestock, especially cattle farming, both in the past and present day of Rwanda.
This site benefits the local community in several ways. Residents create and sell handicrafts to visitors, generating income and supporting local artisans. The area's historical significance also attracts tourists, further contributing to the local economy.
Here we have paintings, plates, balls to play, and other various traditional materials.
The King Ruganzu Ndori II, a pivotal figure in Rwanda's history, is renowned for his diverse accomplishments. He liberated Rwanda from its enemies, restored the honor of its people, and unified them under the name Rwandans. Ruganzu Ndori II met his end while crossing the Kinyaga River, now in Rusizi district. He was ambushed by rebels from the Rusenyi Mountains who opposed his reign. Though blacksmiths from Matyazo managed to extract an arrow from him, he died shortly thereafter. The site of his death was named Gachiro, meaning valuable. He was buried in Utanga Mpundu, Burega sector, Rulindo district. To visit the site is 500 Rwandan francs for children, 1,500 Rwandan francs for adults, and 5,000 Rwandan francs for foreigners.
I'll leave Nete with that report. Now, residents in areas bordering Uganda have been noting that they now understand the reason why it is useful to use the fertilizers they are given instead of just selling them. We have more with Adam Squeezer.
In the 2025 agricultural season A, residents of Gicumbi and Burera districts have successfully planted crops, which have already begun to sprout. They highlighted that in the past seasons, some individuals used to take fertilizers and seeds provided for the farming and sell them in the neighboring countries. The leaders continue to educate the people about the importance of fertilizer. Now, no one would consider selling fertilizers in Uganda, because when people receive it, they immediately use it on their maize crops. On the other hand, some residents have expressed concerns that they were only provided with seeds and did not receive fertilizers. As a result, they resorted to using composite to support their crops. The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources has affirmed that for the 2025 season A, both seeds and fertilizers have been distributed to farmers, hence to ensure that they were equipped for the agricultural season. Dr. Olivier Kamana, the permanent secretary, emphasized that even in areas where rain have already begun, efforts will be made to ensure that all farmers in need receive their supplies, even if their crops are already in the fields. Some farmers have already started planting, anticipating early rain, while others, still waiting as the rain are about to start. We're distributing inputs to people across all districts. During this process, we are working closely with the inspectors to ensure everything is properly implemented, preventing issues like those encountered last year. For this agricultural season, a variety of selected crops will be planted across Rwanda, including maize, beans, potatoes, wheat, sweet potatoes, vegetables, and fruits. In the districts where rain have already begun, farmers have already planted their seeds, while others are still waiting for the rain.
Thank you, Adams, for that report. Now, residents in Ngoma district, that's in the eastern province, have vowed to continue with fitness exercises and at the advice of health experts in order to avoid cardiovascular complications that may arise from unhealthy lifestyles. This comes as Rwanda joins the rest of the globe in celebrating World Heart Day. This follows a campaign that was launched at a car-free day event that featured physical exercises in the district, as well as testing for non-communicable diseases that include those related to the heart. Around the world, as many as 20.5 million people die every year due to heart complications. In the past week, as part of its drive in Ngoma district by the Rwanda Biomedical Center, 1,431 people were tested and 163 were found to have high blood pressure and 31 had diabetes as well. while 484 were overweight. Another 1,516 had their hearts scanned with an ultrasound machine, and 56 were noted to have heart complications. Now, at least 6 to 7 billion Rwandan francs is needed for introducing another 180 water level sensor stations to be added to the existing 59 data stations here in the country to enable the government to plan better on water usage. We have the details with Prince Manzi.
These stations are made of solar batteries and the camera held on wire strings across the waters. As elaborated by the hydro database specialist at the Rwanda Water Resources Board, Jacqueline Wimbabazi, this measures the length and width of the waters through a card inserted in the data logger and with the help of the GPRS technology, saving data every 15 minutes.
Hano tubona ni dufitemo box cyangwa se logger ariyo yakira ibipimo biturutse kuri la sensor ireba mu mazi hara hakurya.
Here we have a logger that receives the data from the sensor to collect data. We use the normal SIM cards we put on phones for us to be able to receive data, and we then use Aquarius software for preserving and storing the measures. Here we have a telemeter station which provides accurate data every 15 minutes.
Last year, floods in Rwanda claimed lives of over 130 people and destroyed close to 6,000 homes, whereas in 2018, infrastructures and crops worth $200 billion were destroyed worldwide. Remy Noba Duhuze, the Water Monitoring and Quality Control Division Manager at the Rwanda Water Resources Board, reiterates that the board is analyzing on how these stations can be used to alert citizens on possible disasters.
Mu bijyanye n'ibiza nayo zafasha uretse ko uko mubibona buriya zohereza amakuru navuga yuko amazi angana muri uwo mwanya.
On disasters, these stations can as well help, but as you see, these sensor stations sense data informing on the intensity of the waters at the moment. But to determine how tense water will be in future, it takes other systems and other studies, but the study is ongoing, started with the volcanic region. It is not only studies, but we started implementing it in collaboration with other levels. So these stations can help. The project is in place, and in the near future it will be realized and will be able to alert citizens.
Tuzaba tumaze kugira icyo tugeraho ku buryo tuzajya tubasha no kuburira abaturage.
At least 6 to 7 billion Rwanda francs are needed for introducing 180 water level sensor stations for the Rwanda Water Resources Board to access M4 on all waters in the country. 59 stations already exist across the country, collecting data on water levels for the country to plan and benefit waters, mostly through establishing hydropower stations and irrigation projects. Not later than 2030, the UN projects 560 major disasters to affect the world annually, hence urging the heightened targeted investment of $3.1 billion from 2023 to 2027 in alerting projects.
Prince Manzi with that report. Now, Irembo has brought together some of the brightest young minds in AI and technology to create solutions that address real-world challenges and drive meaningful impact here in Rwanda under the AI Connect Hackathon inaugural competition. William Evans Mutabazi with the details.
The skills in AI. AI is a major technology that we need to play with. And then Irembo, as the leading technology company in Rwanda, we really feel like it's our duty to develop an ecosystem, to grow an ecosystem of technology talents. So when you're organizing this project with the Center of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the main thing was really to unlock the talents of the young people in the AI and also to support them and to contribute to the growth of the ecosystem. Okay. This was a hackathon, so generally a hackathon you have to produce something, you have to code a solution that is working. It's not about doing a presentation, it's not about talking about an idea, it's about doing something, implementing something that is working, actually using the technology to develop something. So the first thing was the technical implementation, the quality of the technical implementation. And now the second thing was the creativity. So if you are implementing something, what are you implementing? Is it creative? Is it adding value in the way that you are doing it here? So, and then the third one was also the impact, what you are doing, what is the potential impact? We're not expecting people to, in 48 hours, to implement a project that will change the lives of the world, but at least if we continue on that project, do we feel like it's going to create a major impact in the world, and then especially in Rwanda? Yeah. So those were some of the top 3 criteria that we're using to evaluate the projects.
Let us move on to other matters, and now tourism, that is. Rwandans who visit the Nyungwe National Park are encouraging their fellow citizens to explore the natural beauty of the park. They highlight the breathtaking scenery and urge others to experience the unique wonders that it has to offer. We have the details with Olive Nhete.
At the Nyungwe National Park Reception Center in Gisakura, tour guide Oscar Mugisha briefs visitors about the journey to the Ndambarara waterfall, located 7.5 kilometers away. He highlights the scenic route, which features a variety of fruit trees, plants, and wildlife, making the trip a visual captivating experience.
The Kenyans of Waterfall was once most well known, but the journey to reach here is quite challenging compared to the ones we're about to undertake. The Ndambarare waterfall, recently discovered, has a secure, simple, and manageable path, with various scenic beauties along the way. This is why it has become the favorite among visitors.
The journey to Ndambarara waterfall offers a rich visual experience featuring vibrant fruit trees, lush plants, and diverse wildlife. Visitors are greeted by the stunning beauty of the waterfall upon arrival. Beyond Ndambarara, Nyungwe National Park also boasts the canopy walk, a bridge suspended over the forest, located more than 2 kilometers from a place called Kuinga. The first bridge can hold only 1 person. The second and third can support up to 5 people. This bridge is one of the most visited attractions and is a key draw for visitors. Visitors to Nyungwe Forest come from various backgrounds, including both foreigners and Rwandans. Many Rwandans who experienced Ndambarara waterfall and the canopy walk are particularly impressed by the beauty and uniqueness of these natural attractions.
As you approach and starting hearing the sound of the waterfalls, curiosity builds, making you eager to discover what lies ahead. But when you finally arrive, it's a complete surprise.
The number of visitors to Nyungwe Forest, particularly among young Rwandans, is steadily increasing. They are enthusiastic about exploring and enjoying their country's natural beauty and encourage others to do the same.
I encourage everyone to explore the various beautiful places our country has to offer. Rwanda is incredibly beautiful, yet people are unaware of the stunning locations. It's surprising that many who have the means to visit those places are not aware of them. Discovering the sceneries will be a delightful experience for every Rwandan.
The Nyungwe Canopy Walk Bridge, completed in 2010, stands 170 meters long and is 80 meters above the forest, offering breathtaking views. Additionally, the Ndambarara waterfalls has been a popular attraction for tourists for the past decade.
The news, but do stay with Rwanda Television as the programs continue. I'm glad you were able to join us, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.